Okay, welcome to clip number 11 in this project 2019 series. And what we're going to look at now is creating the cost sheet or cost resource, or the resource pool. Again, it comes under various names depending on what sort of book you're reading. Okay, but it's a pool. Microsoft Project calls it a pool of resources. And how we get into that is if we go across to the Gantt chart area here, the view, hit the down arrow, and then go to resource sheet, right, which is the fourth one down. Click on that, and it will bring up a new screen for us. Now, there are one or two things that we generally need in order to enter a resource. Right, so we need a name, what type it is. Initials will generally be generated up by the system, but sometimes we need to change those. Is it part of a group of resources? Is there a maximum? Has it got a standard rate? Got an overtime rate, or is it a cost per use? Right, we have how do we accrue that? Is it on a pro rata basis so that you're paying, you're doing it as you go along? What type of calendar? Okay, what's the base for the calendar? Again, we will be looking at the calendars later on in the series. But what we're going to do just now is I'm going to add some human resources to the project. Right, so first of all we're going to add James. Okay, and we just type the name in, hit return. Now notice it comes up with some standard sort of stuff for us. It tells us it's work. Right, now if I click on the box and hit the down arrow, it's work, which means it's human. I can have a material, and I can actually have a cost associated with something. Right, we are working with work. Initial picks up the first one, J for James, 100%. So James is going to be putting in 100% effort. Standard rate, right, how much are we going to pay James per hour? So let's go for about £15 an hour. Is he going to do overtime? Is he going to get a different rate for overtime? Well, poor James, no, he's not. He's just going to get the same rate regardless of how many hours he works. Right, then we're going to put in Mary. Again, work. Mary's going to be on 15 an hour as well, but she's going to get £20 if she does overtime. And the final one is going to be Alan. Again, another work resource. Alan's going to be on £15 an hour standard. Notice I'm just putting in 15 here, and it picks it up as 15 per hour and 20 per hour there. Okay, so at this point in time we've got 3 resources here. Now these are all work resources, and human resources are always defined as work. Now if I had bricks here, then of course it would be material. Right, and if I had let's say a digger, then the type there would be either a material or a cost. Now it would depend on whether you are paying for the digger really per hour or whether you just had a fixed cost for it. Okay, so again it just depends on what you're wanting to do. I'll need to delete that out, sorry. Just delete the resource, just like Excel. Click on the line, right click button, and you've got insert or delete. Okay, so what we've done here is we've created our basic resource sheet. So I've got 3 resources here that now I can allocate to the project. And these 3 resources are going to be spending 100% of their time on the project. Okay, so we put in their standard rate per hour, and we've got their overtime rate per hour. Okay, they're not cost per use, right? Prorated means, of course, that they'll get that cost per hour, and they're working with the standard calendar at this point in time. If we change that, which we'll be doing later on, then we will have to come back to the resource sheet and change the calendar to whatever it is, whatever we name it. At this point in time, the default are 24 hours, night shift, or standard. And we're just going to leave it as standard at this point. Okay, so that's that done. I can go back to my Gantt chart just by clicking on that. And that's the end of this clip. So again, thanks very much for listening and watching, and goodbye just now.